If you have a body, you are an athlete. That was from Bill Bowerman, who is co-founder and CEO of Nike. Good morning. Welcome to Nike. I'm Cutter Runty. This is Ahmed Kamal. This is Brooke Rigby here. I'm going to pass it over to Ahmed now. He's going to tell you a little bit more about us.
Hi, we are HR representatives here at Nike, and we've been here for a decade or so. We're going to talk to you about how you fit in and contribute as future employees at Nike and as interns. Now I'm going to pass it off to Brooke.
All right, so today we'd like to tell you a little about the history of Nike so that you can understand our background and where we came from. We'd like to discuss our current standings and accomplishments so you can understand where we are right now. And we'd also like to tell you about our expectations for the future and our upcoming products. To start off, I'm going to tell you about the beginning of our company. So Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight were the ones that started up the company. Bill Bowerman is actually a track and field coach at the University of Oregon, and he enjoyed experimenting with the technology behind the shoes of the company. And Phil Knight was actually a runner that ran before Bill Bowerman. He then went on to get his BMA at Stanford in finance, and he worked for Tiger Shoes and became a distributor for them in the United States, where he then partnered with Bowerman in that business. They called their business the Blue Ribbon Sports in the 1950s, and they both actually held full-time jobs. So to help them manage the company, they hired Jeff Johnson in 1965. And Jeff Johnson was actually the one who created the name Nike in 1971, which Nike means the Greek goddess of victory. And they adopted the swoosh symbol, which is the brand mark of the company. Nike debuted in 1972 at the U.S. track and field trials, and they became popular through their waffle-style bottom shoes. To continue with the history, I'd like to talk about Steve Prefontaine, who's referred to as the soul of Nike because he was their first endorser, and he was popular because he won the 5,000 meter in Munich, and he got them featured on Sports Illustrated. And unfortunately, he died at a young age, but because he encouraged the other two to improve Nike and expand, he's referred to as the soul of Nike. By the end of the 1980s, Nike became a publicly traded company because they became so popular. The way that they became popular was with Michael Jordan. He was actually a rookie in the NBA in 1985, but he did a lot of their ads to increase their popularity. In 1987, they had a Revolution ad, which was a song from the Beatles soundtrack. This increased their popularity because the Beatles were obviously very popular. In 1988, they released their Just Do It ads, which I'm sure all of you have heard of. And these ads featured Bo Jackson, which is a two-sport playing athlete. In 1989, they released their Bo Knows ads, and these ads focused on cross-training gear. And these ads really increased the popularity of Nike, and this is when Nike became the leader in the industry, and from then they haven't fallen. From here, I'd like to pass it off to Cutter to talk about their current standings.
Thanks, Brooke. Going over a couple quick stats. Revenue recorded by Hoovers.com in 2011. Nike came in with a total of $24,128 billion of total revenue. Their employees at Nike in 2011, they had 44,000 employees in the workforce. How this compares to Adidas. Adidas is second place behind Nike in accessories and athletic apparels. They came in with a total of $17,279 billion of revenue in 2011. I'm going to share a quick quote with you. This is off of NikeIncorporated.com. Nike continues to seek innovative ways to develop superior athletic products and creative methods to communicate directly with their customers. We are expanding by strong growth in China, and we are now the new sponsor of the National Football League. Going over a couple accomplishments now that happened in these last couple of years. On climatecounts.org, they reported that in December of 2011, Nike was a leader in apparel and accessories and leading in strategies that relate to core businesses and supply chains. The Human Rights Campaign. The Human Rights Campaign 2011 stated Nike as the leader in America for gay, lesbian, transgender, and bisexual workers for the 9th straight year. The last accomplishment that we've gone through was the Forest Footprint Disclosure Project. In 2012, National Wildfire Federation submitted a survey showing that Nike is the leader in sustainability and also how that relates to successful businesses. I'm going to pass it off to Ahmed now, who's going to go over the future of this company.
First of all, I'm going to talk to you about the up-and-coming products of Nike. First, we have the Flyknit running shoes. According to Ben Schaefer, the initial idea was to take the characteristics of a sock, which is knitted, and add structure to that. This makes a lighter and faster shoe for running athletes. Then we have the Aeroswift running suits. They are designed to be faster than skin and give advantage to athletes of 0.03 seconds over average suits, and because of their advanced aerodynamic design. Then we have the Fuel Band wristbands. They're designed to be both fashionable and comfortable. They measure things like heart rate, calories burned, and other stats, and send them straight to your smartphone. And they also serve as a great watch. Then we have the recycled bottles and clothing. Now most of Nike's team uniforms are made partly from recycled bottles, and this helps make the outfits lighter, and also it helps us keep the environment safe. Now I'd like to talk about the advances in technology. First, we have the Nike Plus Performance. Now it's expanded to support both Apple and Android apps, which gives options to more athletes. And we also keep track of individual performances from athletes, which have them record through their equipment such as shoes and wristbands, and goes them straight to their smartphones or computers. They log things like heart rate and pace. Then we have the Lunar TR1 Plus. These are shoes designed to make a game out of your workouts. They help you keep track of your records and share them with your friends digitally. They are designed by world-class athletes, the workouts were designed by world-class athletes such as Manny Pacquiao, the boxer, and Rafa Nadal, the tennis player. And finally, we have the team performance. According to Bloomberg, Nike filed for a patent to put sensors in soccer balls and other equipment. This would help keep track of team and league stats, and to also help coaches analyze their teams better. I'd like to hand things up to Will.
All right, to restate what we talked about earlier, we told you about the history of Nike and how we began. Cutter told you about our current standings and accomplishments with Nike and how we compare to Adidas. And Ahmed told you about the future of Nike and our up-and-coming products. Now I'm going to pass it off to Cutter to close out the presentation.
Yes, before we wrap it up, are there any questions for us while you have us up here?
What do you